We are raising 4 daughters and 2 sons, and it's wild. Wow. And they're all different, and on some days you don't know who shows up. It's the same thing for us at our age as women with hormones and menopause and all of it. And you know, I'm doing this 66-day journal experience that I started in the retreat, and it's 4 questions a day, and it's really pretty profound. But one of the questions is, who are you today? And it's really about like allowing, I think as women, allowing ourselves to show up differently every single day and really explore who you are on the daily, and not be so confined to all of the titles and everything that we think we're supposed to be, or the shoulda, coulda, woulda, or who society says that we are. It's not our titles and our roles, but really who we are. And I've never done it daily. It's really interesting. And even though it's like one question, I'm trying to journal every day. It's so hard, Kelly. But sometimes I'm like, who am I today? I don't know who I am today. Or who do I want to be today? Or who am I choosing to show up as today? There's so much freedom in it. And I'll share it with you. It's really so interesting. I know.
I had so much guilt in, you know, ending the marriage, you know, this last year. I literally struggled so much with grief and guilt for 6 because I was raised Catholic, and you're not supposed to get divorced, and my parents are still married. And also like I wasn't allowing myself to have changed and grown over 15 or 14, however many years, you know? And it's like, I am a different person today than I was back then, and we have to give ourselves permission to evolve.
You have to, and a lot of women don't. And you know, going through 2 divorces, I would have bet my life and everything that I had that I would stay married forever, and it was absolutely necessary that I didn't. And it wasn't until I partnered up with change, like I really had to surrender. I had to stop the guilt. I had to allow myself room to grow and evolve, but I also had to really be okay with change. And I also had to be okay in sharing the need for change with my children, and let go of that idea that they don't get to grow up with a forever family and believing that love is forever and you live happily ever after. And you get like, I mean, that was the gut-wrenching, really hard reality check for me. I had to do a lot of forgiving. I had to do a lot of accepting. I had to do a lot of redesigning. I also had to let go of a lot of ideas that I had about myself, life, love, and family, without the skill set and the tools and the experience to really navigate that new time that you're in, reinventing, redesigning, recreating, but also just learning how to love myself differently. And I was really married to the idea of marriage, the concept of marriage. I really was. Fuck. I mean, it's just,
it's like a death of a relationship.
It's like a death.
Ideal.
It is a death, and there is a grieving and a mourning. I would have bet my life on it that I would have never, ever broken up a family. And even that word is not the right narrative, right? But I get it. I mean,
we're going to have to have a whole other podcast about parenting and then blended families and divorce and all of that stuff. But I want to touch on menopause real quick, because you have navigated being, you know, on covers of magazines and a fitness like guru, and just this beautiful presence as your career, and to navigate menopause so gracefully.
God, like, does it look like that?
Yeah. Good. How do you do it? What do you do?
Does it really look like that?
And you're a detective. You're figuring out what works. So share with us the secrets of how to stay ahead of it. Or
I'm so in it. So I mean, definitely we need to do this again, because it's a big conversation, and I'm very committed to sharing my experience and bringing in experts and doctors, and never claiming to be that. But what I'm really frustrated with right now in menopause is the mindset of it and the way that we're approaching it. And I'm telling you, it's happening. The body's changing, energy's changing, the skin elasticity is changing, the belly fat is changing, the BMI, the list goes on and on and on. The libido, the energy, all of it, okay? All of it's fucking changing. But if we can change our mindset or our point of view and really start to show up differently, because our body is showing up differently. And that's what I'm obsessed with right now. If our body is changing forever, and it is, it's not just the reproductive years and hormone. It's a whole long, it's a whole long list of things. But if our body is changing all the time, we have to change with it. And women are dreading menopause, peri-menopause, post the decade of distress, the mystery. It's depressing. It's scary. It creates anxiety, poor self-confidence, darker parts of it, and depression. Marriages are ending or ruined. Libido alone and what it does to a relationship and self-confidence and your sensuality and sexuality and sex life is bananas, okay? Real stuff.
This is really depressing.
I'm giving you the dark realities of it. But I am 53. I've never felt better. I understand my body better. I understand how to show up differently for myself as a woman. I understand how to navigate those because I've asked 1,000 questions and I've done a deep dive into understanding all of the reasons why. And nobody taught me, nobody taught us, nobody told us about weight training, nobody told us to eat more protein, nobody told us that it was going to be okay, just at a minimum.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay. Menopause is like this mystery that no one was talking about. Thank God, and maybe because we're in it, maybe because we're more aware, maybe it's because all my girlfriends are in it, that we're having an open dialogue, but it's a conversation that needs to be had. And there's actually, I promise you, everyone that's listening, a really positive part of it because the chemistry of the brain is changing. Once you can understand what to do about it, and find confidence in developing a deeper, better relationship with your experts that are guiding you, you can kind of roll through it easier. And that, I want to say that also, and it's a loaded conversation because you might roll through it and not have symptoms. You might choose a natural approach. You might do HRT, which I do. You might not need anything and you might need everything, and you might get what you need and then your body changes again, and then it gets even harder before it gets better, because when you do, if somebody does decide to go that route with HRT, it's also finding that sweet spot that can be really frustrating with weight gain and energy and all of these fabulous things that Mother Nature has dished out to us. But I do think that it's okay, and I do think that you have to learn about your body and get your mojo back and not lose sight of that woman behind the scenes, and change with her and love her and accept her, and be okay when it's really not, on days when it doesn't feel so great and when it's not okay. And it's about love and compassion and self-love, and it's about awareness. It's exactly what we're talking about. Everyone's afraid of it, and I understand that. But everybody's frustrated because it's mysterious, and we have to educate ourselves as women, period. And then manipulate your body.
The more we educate ourselves and understand what's going on, and the more that we have woken up to the fact that we've abandoned ourselves for so long and reconnected to ourselves and start to practice these self-care and love to service to ourselves so we can serve others, then we can start, like, you walk and hold yourself with such a confidence, like I can tell, like, and you're aging gracefully. You're not like putting a bunch of shit in your face.
I'm trying, Kelly.
I have a bruise.
Sometimes a little bit of shit.
Yeah.
I'm trying because I want to be me. I want to be my best self. I want to feel good. I want to look like me. I want to show up differently and understand who I am on the daily. I want to give myself freedom and grace to pivot and change. But I also want to understand what's going on in my body and to be okay on some days when it's not so great, and learn. I'm really looking forward to this decade. I am. And I'm learning how to fuel my body differently, meet my body differently, speak to my body differently, do whatever it takes to feel good, and just grow and evolve and develop a deeper understanding and a greater freedom, by the way, and to love parts of me that I love and to accept parts of me that I don't. And that's a whole nother set of challenges, is how do we see ourselves? I can promise every woman listening that you don't see yourselves the way that anybody else sees yourself. You don't even know what you look like, quite honestly.
I know.
Because you're really looking at a reverse image of yourself. I do a whole workshop on that also, which is wild. And it's a little bit Buddhist and it's a deep dive. But we're not even witnessing what's really happening because we're so in our head.
We have
with
these stories that color our lens.
The inner critic. We're not looking through the lens of love and acceptance. I think that self-love, equates to self-confidence. I think self-confidence is really sexy. I think 50, 60, 70, 80-year-old women are sensual and sexy and divine and can just drop into their goddess energy. And why are we stopping there? What about 90? What about wisdom? What about experience? What about goddess energy, which is timeless, right? Like, what about that? No one's talking about that. They're talking about menopause, that it's coming for you and that it's going to suck. And I really think that menopause doesn't have to suck.
Thank you for listening to the Heal with Kelly podcast. Be sure to tune in every Thursday for more empowering wisdom and inspiring healing stories. And make sure you hit the follow button on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss that one episode that holds the answer you've been searching for. Oh, and if you found this episode inspiring, please rate, review, and share Heal with Kelly so that we can grow our audience and reach more people. We truly appreciate it. Lots of love.